Hi everyone, I'm Renee Tucci and we're going to make a local summer flower design. Okay, to get started here, we have a 10-inch by 4-inch wood box that I have painted brown. And we're actually using brown floral foam. This is from the company Smithers Oasis from their foraged line. It's actually brown, but it works just the same as a traditional floral foam that we're used to. And I've got a bunch of local flowers here at the ready. So I'm going to start feeding these into my foam. I'm starting with some miscanthus here, and this is just an ornamental grass. And truth be told, in full transparency, I actually already designed this arrangement. I loved it so much, I decided I wanted to make a video about it. I took it apart and I turned on the camera. So everything is actually freshly cut, which is why you're not going to see me cut everything. I'm going to do a speed design here, and I'm just going to try to retrace my steps for the arrangement that I just made that I loved so much so that you can enjoy it. So I've just added in some broom corn, and I've added that it's slightly off center, just to one side. And now I'm going to put in 2 sunflowers. And now what you'll notice me doing in this design is I'm actually putting the flowers in groupings where like flowers are going together rather than the traditional spot and dot design where you have a sunflower here, 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 and here, evenly distributed. I feel that this type of grouping lends itself really well to a local design where we're trying to emulate that garden feel. So that's what I'm going for here. I've added in some celosia, some more upright feather celosia. So now I've created my canopy, if you will, with my linear flowers and my really superstar sunflowers. Then I'm going to add in 3 Asclepia. This is also known as Railroad Annie, and this has a bit of a natural drape to it. So I am taking advantage of that and letting it drape out to one side. Next up, I have a few zinnias here. These are really colorful and add such a punch of summer to any design. So I'm going to add these in a grouping, sort of on the other side of my arrangement, other side of where the sunflowers are shining. And let's see here. I may not get the arrangement back exactly like I had it, so I'm gonna have to do a few little adjustments here. But you can see every stem is getting inserted into the foam about 1.5 inches to 2 inches so that everything gets a good drink. I'm gonna harness some of this ornamental grass a little bit. There we go. Next up, I have some hydrangea, and this is really, really beautiful type of hydrangea that brings such a great texture to the base of the design. It's not your traditional floral centric hydrangea. This is actually from my garden. So it's showing a few more blemishes than what we might see if we were to go to a grocery store or a flower shop and buy flowers that have been bred and specifically nurtured for the market. Garden flowers tend to have a little bit more blemish to them, and that's okay. That's what we love about them. Next up, I'm gonna add in a grouping of some brown lisianthus. And what I love to do with lisianthus is actually to reflex it. So when you've got some blossoms like this that are just starting to open, you can, just like you would with a rose or a tulip, you can actually invert the petals with your thumb and forefinger, pop those back open, and the lisianthus becomes much showier here. So let's get a grouping of the lisianthus going. Next up, I have 3 stems of coxcomb or brain celosia, if you will. And this comes in a few different colors. We love it because look at that really unique texture, the rippled little brain-like folds that are in the flower itself. You won't find anything else like this on the market. It's really unique. We're gonna start to fill in a little bit with some greenery. I've got some rosemary foliage here, which is actually growing in my garden as well. And just gonna bring a whole level of fragrance to the design, along with texture and that real soft, silvery color that is so rare. Next up, to add to the fragrance, I have a few pieces of mint, and these are going to go in right over here, just to start to fill in this area. Then we have some millet. I love a good late summer millet with that texture and that weep and drip. I love the movement, the linear, static and dynamic line that it brings to a design. Then I have two colors of Gomphrena. We have it in the magenta sort of purple family, and then I also have it in white. And Gomphrena is one of my favorite flowers. I love working with it in fresh designs. And then also it dries really beautifully as well. So you can get a lot of mileage out of some Gomphrena. So I'll do a grouping of the white and a grouping of the purple. Okay, then to just fill in our mechanics, I have a few pieces of cut salal or lemon leaf, and I'm just going to work these between the stems here and there where I see the floral foam, just to cover that up a bit. Okay, now you can see that this is really filled out with the salal. I am actually going to put a unique finishing touch on this design. This flower is all the rage right now, especially it's very on trend, and it's very plentiful in the local season. Of course, I'm talking about marigolds. Here I have the orange variety, but you can also, of course, get them in yellow. They're very pungent, very fragrant flowers, but again, very plentiful, very inexpensive, and look at that color saturation. You know, very few flowers will give you so much saturation in color. So you can see I am cutting their heads off of their stems. I've cut them just below the calyx, and what I'm actually going to do is thread them onto a wire and make a simulation of a garland. So if I take my wire and I do a U-shaped bend at one end, just like that, and then I start to thread the marigolds right through, one on top of the other. We're going to create a line of marigolds or a garland. Okay, now once you've got your marigolds all threaded onto the wire, there's a few different things that you can do with it. You can actually take this wire, give it a trim, and bend it right back down over that top marigold so that the wire disappears, and then you're left with a stack of marigolds. And I created one of those, and I'm actually going to put it into my design just like a flower. So let's see here, let me give this a spin. We're gonna put this right here, and it's a really distinct, unique addition to an arrangement. This is perfect, of course, for a party or event work, because now these flowers are not in water, so they have a limited lifespan, but they're, as I say, very eye-catching and really perfect for a party. So then the other thing you can do is just create another U-shaped bend on the other side of your marigold, and now you have a wire on each side that you can add into your container. So for example, I'm going to take my one side and place it between the flowers, anchor the wire into the foam like so, And then because it's on a wire, I can bend it around and anchor the other side in the foam, and then bend the garland down. So now it almost looks like party bunting. And don't we love that? I actually have another one at the ready for the other side. And then we could even do something a little more avant-garde, where we have a line of them hooked in on one side and then coming maybe straight out instead of back in again, and just creating a really interesting line for our flower fans to enjoy. There you go. I hope I've inspired you with some local flower love and that you have fun stringing those marigolds. Oh, and I should tell you that they will start to dry out, and when they do, you will see gaps in the wires, but that's okay. You can just push one side closer to the other, bend that wire a little further. You'll get a few days out of these before they start to really crisp up. So enjoy.